Glad to hear Pisces rising. It's Cosmic Girl talking astrology for February. Trust you're doing well and wishing everyone in advance. If you celebrate Valentine's Day on the 14th of February, I trust you have yourself a wonderful day. It's an active month with the planets in transits. The key protagonist is planet Mercury. He's really active. And Mercury has a lot of conversations with planets this month, and everyone's going through a busy Mercury transit. So that indicates for me astrologically for everyone, we've got active minds, we've got lots of movement, we've got lots of talk about money, we've got lots of socializing. There's a lot of energy being kicked up by planet Mercury in transit. I'm going to be talking about what that means for your rising sign in this video, and your ruling planet Jupiter going direct this month and what that means for you. So this is positive news for you as a Pisces rising when your ruling planet gets out of a retrograde. Speaking of retrogrades, we've had Mars retrograde for a little while as well, and Mars goes direct this month, and we'll be talking about that. We have the Sun opening up the month, transiting in Aquarius in detriment. That's your 12th house. And the Sun is going to be ingressing into your first house. So that's a dignity change up for the Sun, which is an improvement. So that's something to look forward to. We'll talk about that in this video. We have Venus leaving your first house of Pisces, her zodiac sign of exaltation, and ingressing into Aries, your second house, her sign of detriment. So the dignity of Venus changes. So there's lots of dignity changes and changes going up with planets moving out of retrograde into direct motion. Dignity changes with planets. So it's an active February, and we're going to get into it and what this means for you in this video. Okay, Pisces rising, let's talk astrology. From the 1st to the 2nd, we have Venus transiting in your first house. She's exalted. We have an exalted Venus that's been transiting in your first house, Pisces rising. How's that been for you? Feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below. And from the 1st to the 2nd, she's conjuncting Neptune. And on the same day, the Sun in Aquarius is trining your ruling planet Jupiter retrograde. So the first 2 days of the month are about self-indulgence, what you do in isolation and solitude that fills your cup up. Is it time away from the family? Is it time to go to an ashram or bring in more peace and harmony in your day-to-day when it comes to your home environment and family unit? These are such things that you might be processing from the 1st to the 2nd of February. Where do I lose myself? Do I lose myself in my family, taking time out? What do I value? What do I love? And with Venus conjuncting Neptune, whilst the Sun is trining Jupiter, your ruling planet retrograde, you might be returning to things from the past that you really did enjoy on the down low. So really nice opening up for the first 2 days of the month with this planetary alignment. On the 4th, we have Venus now leave your first house of Pisces and ingress into Aries in your second house. And the same day, your ruling planet Jupiter stations to go direct in Gemini, your 4th house. So the two benefics of the solar system, Venus and Jupiter, are changing and shifting. And that is quite beneficial for all of us. So let's talk about this Venus in Aries transit for you, Pisces rising, for the rest of February moving into March. When Venus transits in your second house of valuables, assets, possessions, things that support you, your financial landscapes, Venus in Aries will have you feeling like you need to eliminate the dead wood. So you might be good at getting rid of subscriptions, reducing things that are inflammatory or don't help your body. You might be more inclined to research financial options, how to get a better deal. So you might become really savvy with your finances, like being a real detective on being very aware of the logistics of what's coming in and out of your checking account. Where's my money going? Where is it being wasted and diluted? And how do I develop more strength and strategy and a muscle for holding on to resources that support me? And that may be investing in seeking out a financial advisor. Maybe you want to start injecting some money in a new course or developing a niche skill that improves your capacity to earn some serious cash flow in your future. This is all up for grabs when Venus is transiting in your second house. So technically, through astrological systems, we know that Venus is in detriment. So in short, Venus is working harder to be more like Mars, which is just go for it and eliminate distractions. Do what you have to do to get what you want. Now, whilst that can be a fantastic transit to, really go for what you love and what you want in that second house, which we've been talking about, we don't want to bulldoze and cut our noses off to spite our face by being so ruthless with pursuing what we love that we lose ourselves while we do it. We want to have a healthy balance of not throwing the baby out with the bathwater metaphor when it comes to sprucing up your second house of finance that supports you. So easy does it. Easy does it, Tiger. Pisces rising with this transit. And yes, with your ruling planet Jupiter stationing to go direct in Gemini, it's at 11 degrees in your fourth house. This is benefiting you because Jupiter rules your body, it rules your sense of self. So now Jupiter in Gemini, your fourth house, going direct, you're getting very, very adept at being quite flexible when it comes to home, family, real estate, property, your heritage, your lineage, your roots, topics and subjects. You're getting really good at learning how to work within these parameters. What's the laws? What's the morals? What's the ethics? What's the data? What structures do I need to attend to? What do I need to eliminate? How do I get more streamlined with these subjects and topics? How do I create order in my family unit and my foundation? Jupiter direct, your ruling planet now, has you possibly getting on top of your actual physical health that makes you feel stronger. And that could be like wanting to get a home gym, bring in more healthy foods in the family. Home, you may want to start working out with your family members. You may want to start renovating your home. You also may want to think, oh, I need to research about my lineage, or do some research about real estate. Is this really where I need to be forever? So your ruling planet Jupiter is really firing on all cylinders with the diversity and the options that are around you when it comes to those fourth house topics. You may want to start really educating yourself about how you can create more freedom with these topics. So that's quite a nice turnaround with your ruling planet Jupiter going direct this month. From the 6th to the 12th, Saturn trines Mars retrograde. So these are the best 6 days of the month of February from my astrological perspective, because the Saturn and Mars are the malefics of the zodiac, of the solar system. They're all about reduction and cutting things out. So from the 6th to the 12th, when Saturn in Pisces in your first house of your identity, your sense of self, who you are, trining Mars retrograde in Cancer in your fifth house of joy and pleasure, you have a great window of time, Pisces rising, to go, you know what? I know what I need to cut out. It's all up to me, Saturn in the first house, to reduce and stop doing things the same way when it comes to seeking out joy and pleasure. So that's changing up routines with children if applicable. Maybe it's time to change up the uh, romantic routines in your relationships. Maybe it's time to talk about the difficult things within relationships with a partner if applicable. And also great to go, I need to maybe look at new hobbies to have fun with. Maybe I need to do something entrepreneurial. Maybe I can start as a side hustle. So what do I need to get rid of? Saturn in Pisces that's stopping me from having fun with my fifth house. What conversations or what hard things do I have to do to eliminate and reduce the barriers? What's stopping me having so much fun? So these are the great days on the month from the 6th to the 12th to get to the bottom of a tricky situation, if at all, with a romantic partnership. Or maybe it's just you getting out of your own way and being more bold and brave and go, yeah, I need to start dating. I need to start getting myself out there. So it's a really good 6 days ago. That's enough. Now I need to just really start pursuing fun. Great days. Moving on. So whilst we've got that Mars Saturn trine happening from the 10th to the 12th, we have the Mercury and the Sun conjunct in Aquarius whilst it's squaring Uranus. So these 2 days from the 10th to the 12th, there can be some fantastic opportunities to drop into meditation, take self-care days, do what you need to do to get out of the rat race and the day-to-day grind so you can think more clearly about joy and pleasure house. This is a very good from the 10th to the 12th with the Sun Mercury conjunct and Aquarius to liberate yourself from restriction, which is feeling isolated and distant from joy and pleasure and fun. So what's taking you away on this day is self-care and self-preservation while Saturn and Mars are conjunct. Trining. I think this is almost like a breakthrough 6 days from the 6th to the 12th for you, Pisces rising. Out with the old and in with the new. Time to inject a serious amount of fun into your everyday life. Really good. The next day from the 12th, we have a full moon in Leo, 24 degrees in your 6th house. Who doesn't like a full moon in Leo? This is a full moon that's all about self-expression from the heart. So there could be a big reveal this day about work, health, services, labor, and sickness. And it could be coming from the 12th house of isolation and solitude. So you may want to check out on this day, be quiet behind closed doors. Could be because of health or just feeling run down. But either way, with a full moon in the zodiac sign of Leo, it is a passionate expression. So you're passionately expressing something from the heart that may have been hard to talk about or reveal to date. So don't hold back if you've got something to declare. There's support around you. You don't have to feel so isolated. It's time to speak from the heart on the 13th of February. How you going there, Pisces? There's a lot, isn't there? I warned you. It's an active sky in February. Okay, so moving on to the 14th, we have, after that exuberant full moon in Leo, we have Mercury leave Aquarius, your 12th house, and Mercury will now ingress into your first house of Pisces. And Mercury will stay put in Pisces for the rest of February, moving into March. So from the 14th, moving forward, Mercury will be planted right into your first house, Pisces rising. So what do we expect with this transit? Well, through Hellenistic teachings, Mercury is in his house of joy. Mercury is at what they called at the helm of the natal chart, and that's quite helpful for feeling like there's more control. So more control with your social connections, your mind, mercurial things like money, working with paperwork, logistics, data, analytics. Not surprising about the finance part, because Venus is also transiting in your second house of money in Aries. So money could certainly be on your mind, and you could be really good at being a researcher at this time when Mercury is transiting in Pisces in your first house. So researching like things about the body, what ticks your boxes, what gives you a sense of purpose, what is the mercurial parts of yourself, Pisces rising, that you want to incorporate. And that is being social, being interested in education, interested in travel and movement, interested in many things. And we do have Mercury in full and in detriment in Pisces, but this is where Mercury gets creative. And so being more creative with your emotional body. So you might want to do things like self-improvement with fitness and diet. You may want to seek out medical assistance as well with this transit, and that would be wise to do so if you so need it. With Mercury at the helm, transiting in your first house from the 14th for the rest of the month, there's nothing you can't take charge of. This is going to take a little bit more emotional effort to get to the details and get to the good stuff. So persistence is key with this transit in regards to keeping on your toes, not dropping the ball when it comes to important things like communication, travel, socializing, and money, because it's certainly going to be improving your identity, your body, and how people see you, your sense of self. So nice transit all in all, really. Just watch for mental fatigue. On the 18th, we have the sun now ingressing into Pisces. So the sun leaves its sign of detriment, Aquarius, your 12th house, and it now ingresses into Pisces. So the dignity of the sun increases significantly, which is quite helpful for the sun. So the sun always transits Pisces for 4 weeks at this time of the year. So from the 18th of February to the 18th of March. This is good if you're into planning, Pisces rising. This is great for planning for things where it takes more energy and effort with the sun in your first house. So like exercise, looking at your appearance, looking at your fitness, to how are you feeling within the body, mind, spirit, and soul. The sun is helping now, because when the sun turns up for 4 weeks, because you've got a stellium happening in your first house. So a stellium is 3 or more planets, and you have a stellium happening in your first house. So that's the North Node in Pisces. That's Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. Now Mercury is in Pisces, and now the sun's in Pisces. So when you have a stellium, it's not that you're removing the significance of understanding the archetypal characteristics of the planets. It's just that the zodiac sign where the stellium's happening becomes more focused, like a laser pointer. So it's all about your first house in the month of February. So this indicates for you, Pisces rising, this is about your health. How good do you feel in your body? People seeing that, because the house is how other people see you. This is about your identity. What makes Pisces rising Pisces rising? And when the sun steps in here for 4 weeks, the energy is here to get on top of such things and feel invigorated. And also, if you've been trying to shy away and not be seen with the sun in the first house, it's harder. So it's harder for you to conceal, if anything, what's going on within yourself or your physical body as well. But ultimately, I find the sun in the first house is quite optimistic. You're a lot more attractive, and people are more attracted to you with the sun in the first house. So enjoy that. And if you are Pisces rising, going through, a process of change within yourself, your physical self, your identity, or your health, then seek out the professionals around you to assist you. You don't suffer in silence is the advice when the sun steps in as well from the 18th of February for the rest of the month. On the 20th, Mercury in your first house squares off with your ruling planet Jupiter in Gemini, your fourth. We have what's called here mutual reception. So Mercury is in Jupiter's zodiac sign, which is Pisces. Jupiter's your ruling planet. And Jupiter's in Gemini. Your ruling planet's in Gemini and Mercury sign. So that's called mutual reception. So in short, both planets can look at each other and go, look, we're both not really happy here, but at least we can come to some sort of resolution or understanding. So this is to do on the 20th, maybe having a difficult conversation within yourself, like maybe dealing with something quite mercurial. So that would be information or the mind, and squaring off with your ruling planet Jupiter. So this could be about your body, your home environment or family, or real estate and property topics. So it's like, I do have to stay in this house for longer than I anticipated. That's a bugger. Or, oh, wow, I have to suddenly move. Okay, that's a bugger. Or, oh, I'm really fatigued. I don't feel mentally up to looking at the paperwork about a new home. That's a bugger. Oh, I really don't want to look at the details of this medical procedure that I'll have to do. That'll take me away from my home and family. That's a bugger. You get the picture. Both Jupiter and Mercury are like, but there is a resolution and some sort of light at the end of the tunnel on the 20th, whatever the conflict or strain is. On the 23rd, Mercury, here's Mercury again, trines Mars retrograde in Cancer, your fifth house. So this is good. Earlier in the month, Saturn trined your ruling planet. Saturn trined Mars retrograde. And now on the 23rd, Mercury trines Mars retrograde. So this is doubling down from what happened from the 6th to the 12th of the month, with Mercury now having a conversation with Mars in your fifth house of joy and pleasure. It's now easier to talk about the more difficult things. It's easier to address those topics of children, entrepreneurship, hobbies, sex, intimacy, dating, your romantic partnerships. So communication's flowing nicely on the 23rd of Feb. The next day, the 24th, Mars goes direct in your fifth house. So that 23rd, only the day before, maybe there was a conversation that really came to a strong resolution, and now you can take action moving forward with your sense of joy and pleasure. So this is about a conflict or exacerbation now settling down, and you can start lightening up, if you will, with Mars now going direct in your house of joy and fun. So not out of the waters yet. There's still some adjustments, but at the very least we have Mars, our personal planet, going direct, and that's only beneficial. So things might start to heat up in a really good way. Pisces rising from the 24th with Mars direct in Cancer at 17 degrees. On the 25th, Mercury now conjuncts Saturn in your first house. This is sealing a deal day, some sobering news or some very wise words will be spoken on this day, or communication or documents that need your attention. So chop chop is the astrological advice. Something needs your attention and it's going to have a long-term knock-on effect that is about your identity, your sense of self, your body, your image, and how people see you. So this is a definitive, very mark it in your calendar date moment, the 25th. And the same day, Venus is sextiling your ruling planet Jupiter. The two benefics are agreeing. And so this is starting on the dotted line, shaking hands, putting a ring on it. We agree to move forward with something solid and stable that's helping your finances, your family unit, home, real estate, and property topics. Looks great on the 25th. Ending the month on the 28th, we have a new moon in Pisces in your first house at 9 degrees. So that stellium in your first house is really kicking up. We've got Saturn, Neptune, Moon, Sun, Mercury, and the North Node all in your first house. So Pisces risings, there's big transformation, big things happening with you. So on the 28th with a new moon in Pisces, this is great for starting something physical that's going to grow. So if you want a child, if you want to have more children, great transit for trying to get pregnant with a new moon in your first house of Pisces. It's a great time to start getting creative when it comes to changing up your look. So if you want to refresh, reboot your aesthetics when it comes to your wardrobe, your body, your hair, etc. This is the new moon to start it. Great time also for being creative, being more spiritually intuitive, about being serious about your spiritual practices. Maybe you need to practice more esotericism or meditation on the day. This is the great time of the month to start proactively engaging with practices that take you out of the body and into the mind and expand your mind, body, spirit, and soul on the 28th. Enjoy that. Really interesting new moon for you, Pisces rising on the 28th of the month. That is your astrology, Pisces rising for February. So what's the takeaways can I give you astrologically? Well, you're probably doing a lot better than you're giving yourself credit for. With Saturn in the first house of Pisces, it can make you feel melancholic, like you're stuck, like you're going nowhere fast. You're like treading water, spinning your wheels. But the blessings of Saturn, and yes, there are blessings, is that doing the hard yards now will benefit you in the future. So it is getting on top of things that are chronic or old or outdated in your experience in any way, shape, or form. That gives you, more than a less than savory taste in your mouth about your identity, how people see you, your sense of self, and who you are. So it is a benefit with Saturn there, because the one step forward, two steps back process that you may be feeling with these subjects and topics, it is the hard yards, it is the daily grind. It does take a lot of work, discipline, and determination when it comes to transforming yourself, your mind, body, spirit, and soul. But Saturn will help you develop a muscle for appreciating time, dedication, and maturity. So whilst you may feel it's all a bit too much, there is something transforming within you, and it has to be because seriously, with the stellium in your first house, the north node now in your first house, Pisces rising, the north node is about indicating, and it's sort of waving a flag going, hey, you've forgotten you. And that can be a possibility. Pisces risings and the zodiac sign of Pisces are very self-sacrificing, and they can get lost in others and forget themselves. And a lot of Pisces and Pisces risings do like to practice working with esotericism and divinatory tools, and also spiritual practices, because it helps them remember who they are whilst they're in service to other people. So that north node in your first house is helping you remember. It's great to be sacrificial. It's great to be in service. It's great to be loving and compassionate and nurturing and be there for everyone. But don't forget you along the way. And that may be reflected in your body and your image and how other people see you. They may be saying, hey, you okay? Or can I help you? Because maybe you have lost yourself in all the busyness of life. So that north node's great for creating more awareness of it being okay to love you, nurture you, look after you, while you're dealing with the masses, Pisces rising. Give yourself a break. Okay. But yes, so I think Saturn in the North Node in your first house is helpful for you, Pisces rising. But this month can be quite exacerbating. So practice self-care. When you need to take a break, take a break. If you need to say no, say no. If you don't want to engage in anything, say it. Don't be a people pleaser. It's not going to help you. That North Node in your first house is indicating it's time to focus on you. It's not saying you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I'm getting rid of my house, my family, my home, my romantic partnerships, getting rid of everything. That's not what it's about. It's about learning to harmonize and feel in balance with the world around you while you keep that authentic self running in a very smooth way. So having your own identity and sense of self is important, so you don't get washed and lost in other people, and that creates balance. So creating that balance is necessary. Whilst you're loving other people, love yourself more. Okay, that is your astrology for the month. I trust you got some valuable information. If you have any questions or are interested in my astrological services, you can email me at cosmicgirl101@protonmail.com. And if you want to support your Cosmic Girl, you can go to my homepage and you can see how you can do that for future reference. All right. Remember, Pisces rising. Stay cosmic.